This video shows how to send and receive emails with MobiCall. To send emails, the following requirements must be given. SMTP server. To send emails to internal or external recipients depends on the SMTP server configuration. A MobiCall license for sending emails is required. To receive emails, an email interface license is required. There are two different ways to receive emails. The first possibility is to receive emails from an SMTP server. MobiCall is connected to this server and pulls a specific email account. If an email is found in this account, MobiCall extracts the message and uses it for one or more alarms, depending on the alarm start configuration. The second option is to start the local NewVoice MobiCall internal SMTP mail server. The mail server is started on port 25 and waits for emails that are forwarded to MobiCall. When a message is received, an alarm is triggered. To start with the Send Mail option, open up the NewVoice Setup wizard from the desktop. Switch to Interface Settings on the left side and activate the very first checkbox Email Interface for incoming and outgoing emails. Change to Now Active Email Settings. Here is defined how emails should be sent or received. Activate the first checkbox on outgoing email settings. When active, you can start define the fields with the first is the SMTP host. The second field is the SMTP username, if required. The third field is the SMTP password, if required. The fourth field is the default mail sender address. This is the address MobiCall uses for emails. In the field on port, you can change the port number MobiCall uses to send emails. To use TLS for sending email, use the checkbox Send Mails Encrypted with TLS. The specified mail server has to accept TLS mails. You can also use the last checkbox to confirm an email alarm message. With this option, a URL is added to the email where the user can confirm or decline the alarm. Once enter the data, press the Apply button at the bottom and test your current made SMTP settings by clicking the Send Mail button in the upper right corner. The NewVoice Mail Sender opens. Above you can see the previously specified SMTP server and the specified user. If not displayed, close the window and repeat the previous steps. Enter a recipient to whom you want to send the message. You can also give a CC if you want to, but it is not required. Type an email address in the From field. Make sure that the SMTP server allows this sender. Enter a subject and a body text to be sent. You can also attach files by pressing the Search button, which is displayed as three dots right beside the Attach Files field. Once you have selected a file, press the Add button to add the file to this email. If you want to test TLS for this SMTP server, press the checkbox Send Mails Encrypted by TLS, SSL, if supported by the mail server. Press the Send button below to send the test message to the SMTP server. If you received the message successfully sent, everything is fine. If you receive the message failed to send the mail to the address, contact NewVoice Support for further assistance or check the newsandmail.log and try the POST command in a command shell. This gives you the result why the email has not been sent. If the message was sent successfully, start defining your email recipients for alarm scenarios. Open the NewVoice Personnel Editor and create a new person or add a new entry to an existing account person. Select the first type -@-, which is for email. In the field next to it, enter the email address to which MobiCall should send the message. When you are done, assign the new entry to a group and press the Create Database button in the Personnel Editor to save your changes. Now test the email message by defining the group to the test alarm or create a new test group with an email recipient in it and launch the test alarm. If the message is received, everything is set up properly. Check the SQL alarm viewer or the log files if the email is not received. Please contact NewVoice in need for support. If you open an alarm in the Alarm Control Central, you will find the New Settings tab Mail. Here you can define how the mail should be sent in case of this alarm. The first drop-down menu is used to define the sender's email address. Different senders can be used for different alarms. The second drop-down menu is the message template for the subject. MobiCall will use this template for the message subject. New message templates can also be defined if the existing ones are not sufficient. With the drop-down menu HTML mail template, an HTML template can be defined which will be used for the alarm email. HTML allows the customer to easily define their own structure for emails via HTML. Different file types can also be added to this alarm email. Start to define by pressing the Add button on the right side. Here you can choose between Dynamic source, from camera, static file from the image directory, dynamic received attachments, must be activated and received, or adding a file from a specific location. This can also be a dynamic file. See the example on the screen for further details. Press the Add button to your newly added file and press the OK button at the bottom. The added files should appear in the field. Don't forget to press the Set button on the right side. The last checkbox Send mail with importance set as high is used to send high-priority emails. If this alarm email is to be confirmed, the following settings must be made. In the alarm, open the Setting tab Confirmation and activate confirmation by 3. Switch back to the Mail Settings tab and select any HTML template. For default messages, NewVoice recommends the NV example template. Press the Set button when you are done. Now switch back to the NewVoice Setup wizard and go to the Email Settings. Here you have to activate the last checkbox in the settings for outgoing emails. Activate function to add a confirmation link to the mail message. Once the function is activated, press the Settings button beside it. Here you define how MobiCall should be reached. It must be ensured that MobiCall can be reached via the URL you specified in the first field. The port specified below must also be reachable. By default this is port 5521 for the NvHTTPServer. Keep the HTML template for the confirmation link on default. Press the OK button and then press the Apply button in the Setup wizard. Since MobiCall now attaches a confirmation or rejection link to the email you just defined, only one part is missing. As we just activated the function to confirm emails, MobiCall sends a link that confirms or rejects. This link contains the previously filled-in IP address. For this reason it must be ensured that the MobiCall server is reachable. Now open the NewVoice tool monitor from the desktop and press the System button followed by Auto Start. Here you can now see the NvHTTPServer.txt which is not started. Start it by selecting it and pressing the Start button on the right side. If now the confirmation link is pressed, the NvHTTP server receives the request and confirms or rejects this alarm message. Contact NewVoice Support if you need further information about sending mails. Next is shown how to receive emails to launch alarms. Activate the checkbox Enable functions for polling emails from a specified mail server and start the defined alarm. Once active, fill in the SMTP information below. Enter the host address of the SMTP server. Enter the username and password of the email account, followed by the protocol in the drop-down menu Mail Protocol to get mails. You can switch between POP3 and IMAP4 with or without SSL. If SSL is active, You can also check the box Activate Strong Security to cancel mail download if the SSL certificate is invalid to increase security. When you are finished, make sure that the AutoStart is closed and press the Apply button below. Now open the NewVoice AutoStart via the NewVoice line monitor. A new entry will be made there. Start the NvHTTPServer email and want to start the email poll on the defined SMTP server. The emails must have a specially defined format to launch an alarm. The email subject is the alarm number and the email body is the text used for the alarm message. If no SMTP server is available but the alarm should be able to be launched by email, the local SMTP server can be activated on MobiCall. To do this, activate the checkbox Activate Local SMTP Mail Server on MobiCall to receive emails and start specified alarms. When active, press the Apply button followed by Mail Server Settings. Here you define how the mail server should react to emails. On the first page you can set the main mail server settings. With the first checkbox you can specify a range which alarms can be launched by mail. Use the drop-down menu below to define the default alarm number to be launched if the scan in the alarm range has no match. With the field add offset to the alarm number before starting the alarm number can be mutated before starting. The number entered here is added to the alarm number before the start. Below is defined how the alarm data is received. With the first option it is defined that the alarm data is specified in the subject with a defined format. Activate the checkbox below if you want to use ID and password to launch an alarm. ID and password must then be defined in the mail subject. With the option below you can define a special regular expression to be used for the mail body. The mail is then searched for this format string and if the alarm number is found, it will be launched. Activate the checkbox beside to scan in the mail subject and not the body. The option below can be used to set a mapping. This allows MobiCall to launch different alarms depending on the received message. Even in case of one same alarm with different messages, different recipient groups can be defined. With the message settings is defined how the message for the alarm should be extracted from the email. With the first two checkboxes is defined if the message comes from the subject or the body. With the next two options is defined at which position the message starts. Below in the three fields can be defined a regular expression for the alarm message. First field is for the general alarm message. Second field is display message 1 and third field is display message 2. With start special module settings can be defined the mail server as example as gateway, to receive message as email and forward them as SMS. Contact NewVoice Support in case assistance is needed.